Scene 1. An apartment in the Duke's house. Enter Duke Vincentio, Escalus, lords, and attendants.
Escalus.
My lord.
Of government the properties to unfold would seem in me to affect speech and discourse, since I am put to know that your own science exceeds in that the lists of all advice my strength can give you. Then no more remains but that to your sufficiency, as your worth is able, and let them work. The nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms for common justice, you're as pregnant in as art and practice hath enriched any that we remember. There is our commission, from which we would not have you warp. Call hither, I say, bid come before us Angelo.
Exit an attendant.
What figure of us think you he will bear? For you must know, we have with special soul elected him our absence to supply, lent him our terror, dressed him with our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, it is Lord Angelo.
Enter Angelo.
Look where he comes.
Always obedient to your grace's will, I come to know your pleasure.
Angelo, there is a kind of character in thy life, that to the observer doth thy history fully unfold. Thyself and thy belongings are not thine own so proper as to waste thyself upon thy virtues, they on thee. Heaven doth with us, as we with torches do, not light them for themselves. For if our virtues did not go forth of us, 'twere all alike as if we had them not. Spirits are not finely touched, but to fine issues, nor nature never lends the smallest scruple of her excellence, but, like a thrifty goddess, she determines herself the glory of a creditor, both thanks and use. But I do bend my speech to one that can my part in him advertise. Hold therefore, Angelo. In our remove, be thou at full ourself. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Escalus, though first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more test made of my metal before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. We have with a leavened and prepared choice proceeded to you, therefore take your honours. Our haste from hence is of so quick condition that it prefers itself and leaves unquestioned matters of needful value. We shall write to you, as time and our concernings shall importune, how it goes with us, and do look to know what doth befall you here. So fare you well. To the hopeful execution do I leave you of your commissions.
Yet give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way.
My haste may not admit it, nor need you, on mine honour, have to do with any scruple. Your scope is as mine own, so to enforce or qualify the laws, as to your soul seems good. Give me your hand. I'll privily away. I love the people, but do not like to stage me to their eyes. Though it do well, I do not relish well their loud applause and aves vehement, nor do I think the man of safe discretion that does affect it. Once more, fare you well.
The heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth, and bring you back in happiness.
I thank you. Fare you well.
Exit.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place. A power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
'Tis so with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honour.
Exeunt. Scene 2. A street. Enter Lucio and 2 gentlemen.
If the Duke, with the other dukes, come not to composition with the King of Hungary, why then all the dukes fall upon the king.
Heaven grant us its peace, but not the King of Hungary's.
Amen.
Thou concludest like the sanctimonious pirate that went to sea with the 10 Commandments, but scrapped one out of the table.
Thou shalt not steal?
Ay, that he raised.
Why, 'twas a commandment to command the captain and all the rest from their functions. They put forth to steal. There's not a soldier of us all that, in the thanksgiving before meat, do relish the petition well that prays for peace.
I never heard any soldier dislike it.
I believe thee, for I think thou never wast where grace was said.
No? 12 times at least.
What, in meter?
In any proportion, or in any language.
I think, or in any religion.
Ay, why not? Grace is grace, despite of all controversy, as, for example, thou thyself art a wicked villain, despite of all grace.
Well, there went but a pair of shears between us.
I grant, as there may between the lists and the velvet. Thou art the list.
And thou the velvet. Thou art good velvet. Thou art a 3-piled piece, I warrant thee. I had as lief be a list of an English kersey as be piled, as thou art piled, for a French velvet. Do I speak feelingly now?
I think thou dost, and indeed, with most painful feeling of thy speech, I will, out of thine own confession, learn to begin thy health, but whilst I live, forget to drink after thee.
I think I have done myself wrong, have I not?
Yes, that thou hast, whether thou art tainted or free.
Behold, behold, where Madam Mitigation comes. I have purchased as many diseases under her roof as come to...
To what, I pray?
Judge.
To $3,000 a year.
Aye, and more.
A French crown more.
Thou art always figuring diseases in me, but thou art full of error. I am sound.
Nay, not as one would say healthy, but so sound as things that are hollow. Thy bones are hollow. Impiety has made a feast of thee.
Enter Mistress Overdone.
How now? Which of your hips has the most profound sciatica?
Well, well, there's one yonder arrested and carried to prison was worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I pray thee?
Marry, sir, that's Claudio, Signor Claudio.
Claudio to prison? 'Tis not so.
Nay, but I noticed so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away. And which is more, within these 3 days his head to be chopped off.
But after all this fooling, I would not have it so. Art thou sure of this?
I am too sure of it, and it is for getting Madame Giulietta with child.
Believe me, this may be. He promised to meet me 2 hours since, and he was ever precise in promise-keeping.
Besides, you know, it draws something near to the speech we had to such a purpose.
But, most of all, agreeing with the proclamation.
Away, let's go learn the truth of it.
Exit Lucio and gentlemen.
Thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I am custom shrunk.
Enter Pompey.
How now, what's the news with you?
Yonder man is carried to prison.
Well, what has he done?
A woman,
But what's his offence?
groping for trout in a peculiar river.
What, is there a maid with child by him?
No, but there's a woman with maid by him. You have not heard of the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation, man?
All houses in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down.
And what shall become of those in the city?
They shall stand for seed. They had gone down too, but that a Weisberger put in for them.
But shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down?
To the ground, mistress.
Why, here's a change indeed in the Commonwealth. What shall become of me?
Come, fear you not. Good counsellors lack no clients. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be your tapster still. Courage! There will be pity taken on you. You that have worn your eyes almost out in the service, you will be considered.
What's to do here, Thomas Tapster? Let's withdraw.
Here comes Signor Claudio, led by the provost of prison, and there's Madam Juliet.
Exeunt. Enter Provost, Claudio, Juliet, and officers.
Fellow, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison, where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offence by weight the words of heaven. On whom it will, it will. On whom it will not, so. Yet still, 'tis just.
Re-enter Lucio and two gentlemen.
Why, how now, Claudio? Whence comes this restraint?
From too much liberty, my Lucio. Liberty. As surfeit is the father of much fast, so every scope by the immoderate use turns to restraint. Our natures do pursue, like rats that raven down their proper bane, a thirsty evil, and when we drink we die.
If could speak so wisely under an arrest, I would send for certain of my creditors, and yet, to say the truth, I had as lief had the foppery of freedom as the morality of imprisonment. What's thy offence, Claudio?
What but to speak of would offend again?
What, is't murder?
No.
Lechery?
Call it so.
Away, sir. You must go.
One word, good friend. Lucio, a word with you.
100, if they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Julietta's bed. You know the lady, she is fast my wife, save that we do the denunciation lack of outward order. This we came not to, only for propagation of a dower remaining in the coffer of her friends, from whom we thought it meet to hide our love till time had made them for us. But it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet.
With child, perhaps?
Unhappily, even so. And the new deputy now for the Duke, whether it be the fault and glimpse of newness, or whether that the body public be a horse whereon the governor doth ride, who newly in the seat, that it may know he can command, lets it straight feel the spur, whether the tyranny be in his place or in his eminence that fills it up, I stagger in. But this new governor awakes me all the enrolled penalties which have, like unscoured armour, hung by the wall so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round, and none of them have been worn. And for a name now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. 'Tis surely for a name.
I warrant it is, and thy head stands so tickle on thy shoulders, that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send after the Duke, and appeal to him.
I have done so, but he's not to be found. I prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter, and there receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state, implore her in my voice that she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself assay him. I have great hope in that, for in her youth there is a prone and speechless dialect such as move men. Besides, she hath prosperous art when she will play with reason and discourse, and well she can persuade.
I pray she may, as well for the encouragement of the like, which else would stand under grievous imposition, as for the enjoying of thy life, who I would be so sorry should be thus foolishly lost at a game of tic-tac. I'll to her.
I thank you, good friend Lucio.
Within 2 hours.
Come, officer, away.
Exeunt. Scene 3. A monastery. Enter Duke Vincentio and Friar Thomas.
No, holy father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why I desire thee to give me secret harbour hath a purpose more grave and wrinkled than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it?
My holy sir, none better knows than you how I have ever loved the life removed, and held in idle price to haunt assemblies where youth and cost and witless bravery keeps. I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna, and he supposes me travelled to Poland, for so I have strewed it in the common ear, and so it is received. Now, pious sir, you will demand of me why I do this?
Gladly, my lord.
We have strict statutes and most biting laws, the needful bits and curbs to headstrong weeds, which for this 19 years we have let slip, even like an o'ergrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Now, as fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch only to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not to use, in time the rod becomes more mocked than feared. So our decrees, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead, and liberty plucks justice by the nose, the baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you pleased, and in it you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear too dreadful. Sith 'twas my fault to give the people scope, 'twould be my tyranny to strike and gall them for what I bid them do, for we bid this be done, when evil deeds have their permissive pass, and not the punishment. Therefore, indeed, my father, I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may, in the ambush of my name, strike home, and yet my nature never in the fight to do in slander. And, to behold his sway, I will, as 'twere a brother of your order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with the habit, and instruct me how I may formally in person bear me like a true friar. More reasons for this action at our more leisure shall I render you. Only this one. Lord Angelo is precise, stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Hence shall we see, if power change purpose, what our seemers be.
Exeunt. Scene 4. A nunnery. Enter Isabella and Francisca.
And have you nuns no farther privileges?
Are not these large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votaress of St. Clare.
Within.
Oh, peace be in this place.
Who's that which calls?
It is a man's voice, gentle Isabella, to knew the key, and to know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. When you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. Then, if you speak, you must not show your face, or if you show your face, you must not speak. He calls again. I pray you, answer him.
Exit.
Peace and prosperity. Who is't that calls?
Enter Lucio.
Hail, virgin, if you be, as those cheek roses proclaim you are no less. Can you so stead me as bring me to the sight of Isabella? a novice of this place, and the fair sister to her unhappy brother, Claudio.
Why her unhappy brother? Let me ask, the rather for I now must make you know I am that Isabella and his sister.
Gentle and fair, your brother kindly greets you. Not to be weary with you, he's in prison.
Woe me, for what?
For that which, if myself might be his judge, he should receive his punishment in thanks. He hath got his friend with child.
Sir, make me not your story.
It is true. I would not, though 'tis my familiar sin with maids to seem the lapwing, and to jest, tongue far from heart. Play all virgins so. I hold you as a thing enskied and sainted by your renouncement and immortal spirit, and to be talked with in sincerity, as with a saint.
You do blaspheme the good in mocking me.
Do not believe it. Fewness and truth, 'tis thus. Your brother and his lover have embraced, as those that feed grow full, as blossoming time that from the seedness the bare fallow brings to teeming foison, even so her plenteous womb expresseth his full tilth and husbandry.
Someone with child by him, my cousin Juliet.
Is she your cousin?
Adoptedly, as schoolmates change their names by vain though apt affection.
She it is.
Oh, let him marry her.
This is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence, bore many gentlemen, myself being one, in hand and hope of action. But we do learn, by those that know the very nerves of state, his givings out were of an infinite distance from his true meant design. Upon his place, and with full line of his authority, governs Lord Angelo, a man whose blood is very snow broth, one who never feels the wanton stings and motions of the sense, but doth rebate and blunt his natural edge with profits of the mind, study, and fast. He, to give fear to use and liberty, which have for long run by the hideous law, as mice by lions, hath picked out an act, under whose heavy sense your brother's life falls into forfeit. He arrests him on it, and follows close the rigour of the statute, to make him an example. All hope is gone, unless you have the grace by your fair prayer to soften Angelo, and that's my pith of business twixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
Has censured him already, and as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution.
Alas, what poor abilities in me to do him good!
Assay the power you have.
My power? Alas, I doubt.
Our doubts are traitors, and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo, and let him learn to know, when maidens sue, men give like gods, but when they weep and kneel, all their petitions are as freely theirs as they themselves would owe them.
I'll see what I can do.
But speedily.
I will about it straight, no longer staying but to give the mother notice of my affair. I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon at night I'll send him certain word of my success.
I take my leave of you.
Good sir, adieu.
Exeunt. End of Act 1.